Manistee Planning Commission meeting for February 1st. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please take roll.
Commissioner Schmansky, not here. Commissioner Yoder?
Here.
Commissioner Weiner? Here. Commissioner Memberto, absent. Commissioner McBride? Here. Vice Chair Slavinsky?
Here.
Chair Whitliff?
Here. Thank you. Approval of agenda. At this time, the Planning Commission can take action to approve the February 1st, 2024 agenda. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Marlene, second by Roger. Any discussion? None. Please take roll.
Commissioner Yoder?
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner?
Yes.
Commissioner McBride? Vice Chair Slavinsky?
Yes.
Chair Whitliff?
Yes.
Motion
Thank you.
passed.
Thank you. Conflicts of interest. This time the chair will ask if there's any members with any type of conflict on the agenda tonight. Is there any? None? Okay.
Yeah.
Approval of minutes. At this time, the Planning Commission can approve the January 4th, 2024 meeting minutes. Is there a motion on that?
I motion.
Motion by Bob, second
I'll second it.
by Marlene. Discussion? None, please take roll.
Commissioner Yoder?
Yes.
Commissioner Weiner?
Yes.
Commissioner McBride?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slavinsky?
Yes.
Chair Whitliff?
Yes, thank you. Correspondence? Any correspondence tonight, Teresa?
No.
None? Great. Presentation speaker, Laura Heinzelman cannot make it tonight. She had a scheduling conflict, so we will schedule her for a future meeting. And next is Mr. George Butler, Tiny Homes.
Thank you very much. I'm Executive Director of Tiny Developers and live in Manistee, across the parking lot from the Armory. So that's home sweet home for me. A few years back, myself and a number of friends got inquiring about what we could do for lower income housing, not to rent, not to flip houses, but to build. And we started off looking for what could be redeveloped, bigger commercial buildings or whatever that might be redesigned for housing purposes, and somehow find a way to do that with multiplied units within a single space kind of a thing. And so while we were wondering about that, one day we went to Gary Buren, the vice chair of the land bank, and said, "Gary, do you have a house we could have? We're looking to find our way." And he said, "No, we haven't had a house in a year." But he said, "I'll keep my eye out." He went to a meeting of the land bank the next week, and he said, "We have a house and you guys can have it." That was the beginning of our incorporation. We're a 501c3. And we took on the house in Bear Lake. But here on the slide is some of our values. What we'd like to do for our county. We've discovered that while we want to build new, the price of building is in the area of 325 square feet. Are there ways to do it for less? Yeah, probably, but not what would be suitable for us in terms of the quality of what we want to do. And so we're wondering how can you put that in the hands of a homeowner at 80% of AMI and lower. There's a lot who are building and renting to 80% AMI, but you often have to have a voucher and you have to make that work. So we're looking for home ownership. When you get into smaller housing, you want to make sure quality stays up and the community stays up, those kind of things. So we're after home ownership. And at those lower incomes, it's probably going to take 30% of your income in order to be able to finance a new home. So we started looking at it from the bottom up. What can a person afford? And so we go to MSHDA numbers and find that 1 to 2 people with an income of $48,480 have to spend 30% of that for every housing expense. And so when you own, there's not only the mortgage, but every other expense related. And so you need to pay a maximum of $105,000 for your home. That's not much. And at $325 a square foot, what you can buy for $105,000 is just 323 square feet. That's a tiny house. Nationally, the definition of tiny house is roughly between 500 square feet and down. And for 2 to 4 persons with that income of $60,000, well, that home price would be about $220 is what they could afford. And the size for that at $325 a square foot is 676 square feet. So these are the things we're looking at. We'd like to do that for our community. We need new homes. That means additional homes, you know, not just rehabs. Rehabs are good, and there are people that are doing that. But we want to help build the new homes, put some quality housing in the hands of lower income persons. So new tiny housing is a big need in Manistee, and while you're building new, why not make it wheelchair accessible for people that need to age at home? Big part of the population that needs are seniors, and the other are young families. And so we want to make something that would work both ways. Our first shot at it, oh, I hit a wrong button. There we go. Our first shot at it, Land Bank gave us this house in Bear Lake. It had been abandoned for 10 years. There were trees breaking the roof or leaning on the house, and we had to tear down everything. Not the foundation, not the frame, but everything else had to go. We had to take all the furnishings out of the house and so forth. So we spent a lot of money on the house. We were thinking we could turn that around and make that something a low-income person might be able to use. And we ended up cashing it out to say, well, let's go to our next project. But one thing we were able to do in the redesign was to put into that 2 300 square foot studio apartments. They are gorgeous. And so we know sometime in the next 100 years, somebody that owns that house is going to put mom in one of those studios that needs to be at home or needs to be in a wheelchair, or the child that comes back home with divorce and got no money in the pocket, that kind of thing. Or maybe a neighbor that just needs some help and wants to rent an apartment within the house. It's a single residence house. So that's where we started. And it's gorgeous. We're real proud of it. We want to feel that way about everything we do. So from there, we come back to, we're not finding our way. So we come back to Land Bank. And if you know the property there on Kosciuszko, they just had that house bulldozed, and that greenhouse, and it's adjacent to property owned by Morton Salt. It's a tiny property, and we were sitting in a Land Bank meeting, and just when Land Bank was getting that property, and someone looked at me and said, well, that'd be a good place for a tiny house on a tiny property. Well, maybe. But I went to, made an inquiry of Morton Salt whether they could sell the adjoining next lot to give a bit bigger property there, and they can't. They've got tubes and lines that run underneath that property, and they can't sell us anything more. So there, the Land Bank sits with this property. We love the Land Bank, what they're doing. I've been in their meetings now for 2 years, and they're knocking it down, doing some good stuff. So our question is, it really is a question for Land Bank and for timing. But could we build on a property of that small size? A buildable lot is 6,000 square feet. If we want a duplex, it's 10,000 square feet. And a residence size is not exactly tiny, it's 960 square feet. So Tiny wants to inquire. And I mean, we can't bring you a proposal if you just go, oh, that's laughable. But on 4,327 square foot, that small lot, could we do something? We saw a 1,084 square foot old residents go down. We need housing. I think we need some tiny housing for people at 80% of AMI that's going to be excellent. I want to offer that. I'm not trying to bend any arms. What do you want is the question. What do you want with that property? We need housing, there it is. Could we put a small duplex even on that lot? If we could put a duplex at 624 square feet, we could put 2 units in it that are indeed tiny and meet our need for that 80% of AMI, that they could own that and take good care of that.
Mm-hmm.
The home would be a lot less in size. It would be a 1-story. It would be almost 2/3 of the size of that. It would look great on the property. That one's right on the street. We could give it the proper setbacks, give it some landscape, that front porch feeling that would be real attractive. So that's what we're asking. Could we build on that? And if so, could we build less than 960 square feet? So that's Kosciuszko horizontally on the bottom, and 10th Street is where the house is. There's in fine black outline the size of the building that came down. And we could put something in there to look very attractive in the community. We could use the existing driveway to the right of the building. We could put another driveway off 10th Street to the back of the building, so we have 2 entrances. So it looks like a single residence home with a front door and a back door.
Mm-hmm.
Very attractive. So if you're super into the community, that's our interest. Oops. So our question, given that that lot size and the minimums, we'd like to propose on that present lot, 4,327 square feet, that we put a house that's proportionately less than a 960 on a 6,000 square foot house. This would be proportionally less. It's about 1/3 less. And on a lot that's about 1/3 less. So, and while we're at it, we could either make it a single home with 2 bedrooms, or we could duplex it and put in 2 1-bedroom studio apartments. So Tiny values home ownership for 80% AMI. The only way we could build it new and do that for our city is to put a 1 to 2 person household that can buy only 312 square feet. That's all they could afford, unless they got some big inheritance. To have a studio in a duplex, or a 3 to 4 person household, a 2-bedroom that they can buy for 624 square feet for the same per square footage price. Those are our interests. And we don't need this. We don't need this property. We don't need this project. But it's presented to us, and we're going, is that a way we can help our city? Tiny's only going to be involved in this duplex when we can reach that 80% AMI. Unless for some reason it's got to be a little bit bigger and we could show our stuff and get a good feeling in the community for what we want to do. Maybe, but we want to hit our objective of selling to 80% AMI. Land bank might find somebody else that wants to build something bigger if you only want something bigger on the property, if you're going to allow building on the property. So that's kind of who we are. And then we gave you a brochure because our big vision is broader than that, but we look at everything that comes our way. Like I said, we've got a high price of building. We've got to look at what can we do. And we'd like to build a village of co-housing, condominiums, co-op, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to put like 20 duplexes or 20 triplexes on a piece of property where you've got 50% is open land for bicycling, walking, gardening, hobby life, and then you've got smaller houses like these 312 square foot in multiple units, duplex, triplex. connecting paths so people have a social life. It could be totally a senior center, or it could be a mixed population, or whatever you think would be most needed. We know we can't do that in the city, so that's not a city objective. But out there in the township, out there in the county, we're looking for who would want that. Where can we get 20 acres and put in a village like that? That would be a big help. We'd like to be a big help in our community. We've got a tremendous board. You see the folks that are listed there. I don't mean tremendous and big, but whew, people that can knock it out, that are really invested in the community and want to do something for us. So that's it. I'm happy to meet you today. If you could give Teresa any feedback that would get to me or something, let me know if we can help or how we can help. But Land Bank's going to need some guidance on this because it got a property ready to market now.
Okay.
I've got a question. So the 1 to 2 person household there, could you make both of those studios handicap accessible too?
Everything that we've got designed would
Okay.
be handicap accessible.
Okay.
We've got the 5-foot radiuses, we've got the door, everything.
Okay.
We won't go, well, I mean, roll-in showers, lever latches, just everything. We don't need certification, but we would need to make sure it'll work. So we don't advertise that it's ADA. Because then you're into a lot more of crossing every T and all kinds of inspections and difficulty. But I understand all the setbacks, all the things that are involved for that. So we would simply call it accessible.
Okay.
You go see if it works for you.
Right.
Open a can of worms. Yeah. Could I ask a question? Or
Go ahead, Roger.
do you have any development here in town now? You say no?
No, we're brand new. We just incorporated to do that house in Bear Lake, and we just sold that a few months ago. So we're ready for our next project.
Okay, and you say we a lot, so you have a crew or something that does this? I mean, everybody seems to have a hard time finding a carpenter. How do you find builders to do this stuff?
So Lakeshore Construction,
You hire a company?
Gary Buren, the owner,
Okay,
is on our board.
okay.
Gary's huge in getting things done in our community.
Oh, yeah.
He's working in 26 states. He has a big crew in each state that works on local construction. He spoke up when this house was offered to the land bank, and they said, well, we can't take it unless we've got a builder. Gary said, I'll build it. So yeah, we have a builder
Okay, all right.
who'll get her done.
Yeah, so you have no experience with these small houses other than the one in Bear Lake?
Correct. Yeah, we're a new corporation.
New corporation. I mean, we did, what, cottages out here where the hotel was we were supposed to be getting? Look at what we got there. So, that's another story.
So
Okay.
keep your eyes open for us. We want to be a help. We're ready to roll.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Looking at the sizes of these, the 312 square footage is only a 17.5 by 17.5 building. Yeah,
For the-
and the 624 square foot would be a 25 by 25 building.
Yeah. Yes.
So it almost sounds like my dorm room size in college. It's
Yes.
15 by 17.
Yeah, it's like a motel room
Okay.
in terms of size.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
We do have the minimums, 550 square feet, I think it is.
We'll work with whatever you need.
960, actually, square feet.
Okay, on a studio, like a studio, I think is 550,
Oh, I don't know that one.
isn't it? You remember?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
Size. Bob, you remember?
I can't remember what the number was.
No,
It's less than
Okay.
6, though.
Huh?
It was, because,
Six something, it was about 600 to 700 in there.
well, it was with the brewery,
Yeah,
when we went through that exercise.
yeah.
So I think
Oh.
we came in about 550-ish.
Okay.
We did move our square footages down
yeah,
at that time. Maybe Roger remembers.
I can,
I know
But
you,
we would have,
you can't build on like a half a lot, you have to have so much green space.
right, unless,
different than building.
Yeah, but you can't build on I was under the impression that you have a small lot and you have a house and it's tore down, you can't rebuild because you have so much green space. You know.
Coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, percentage.
I think you have to have, what, 60% lot coverage?
60%.
Depends on what,
We did,
zone it is. Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
R1, 2, they're all a little bit different,
What if you
but
build in the same footprint, you could rebuild?
No, not once it's torn.
No, once the foundation's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, once the
gone,
foundation's gone, but if you can build in the same footprint of the.
if the same foundation would still be there.
Right,
Once that foundation's removed, it's
Oh.
no longer,
okay.
because it's completely gone.
Yes.
If the foundation was still there,
Uh-huh,
they'd have a reason to be able to build in that same
yeah,
configuration, but when the foundation's gone like it is.
it's an open, okay.
Because I know there's 2 houses on Fifth Street
Uh-huh.
down towards the end there that are scheduled to be tore down. Someone on the right did work on it and then it just stopped and there's one across from it. And those are, that one on the right's a pretty good sized lot.
Yeah, we're open to such ideas, but let me just complete this because we're trying to find an answer for land bank. When we say we can build there for 624 square feet, we meet the minimum, is that correct, for the size of a house? But I understand that in terms of an apartment, if you will, that the 312 doesn't fly.
Well, see, that's a difference. You're selling these places compared to renting,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Cause don't we have one, the old VFW, Mark, on 8th Street there, and what's that street? Didn't he turn that old VFW into about 4 apartments?
Yeah, we got 4
Yes.
apartments in the
Yep.
building.
4?
Yeah.
And they can't be much bigger than this 6, they're probably not even 600 square feet, are they?
they are roomy.
They are?
Yes, they're very roomy.
Okay, but yeah, that's what they did. They took one building, tore it apart, to put 4 apartments in.
But they never tore the building down, which
That's right. They didn't tear the building down.
No,
And once you affect more than a certain percentage of the building, you have to follow existing,
That's like.
Is there a way that you could go up with this
excuse me?
story on these, to double the square?
Well, sure we could, but the cost goes up, and we're trying to hit the other 80%.
Those houses down by the old VFW,
So we understand we can't maybe do that in the,
them too?
but I'd like to have future dialogue. I'm looking at some community like Arcadia.
uh-huh,
They've got a strange clause that says you can build a minimum building size of 800 square feet unless it's an efficiency building at 240 square feet up to 500. And I go, what is that? What happens between 500 and 800? If you're gonna go
Yeah.
to efficiency of 240, what's wrong with 600, 700? But at any rate, there's language going on around us as people are confronting this cost per square footage, and we need new stuff. That means we gotta pay that price to get it built.
right.
And we've gotta get it not just for the wealthier.
But that's a new thing, which are coming with these tiny houses. They've been on it, well, I've been reading about them for about the last year, but that's the
Yeah.
latest thing out there. Even on trailers, building small houses on trailers like
Yeah,
that.
we might be forced to do some of that out in the county somewhere.
Yeah,
I'd like to dialogue with Teresa a little bit over the next months and just bring in what others are doing, thinking
yeah.
we can't leave out.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, median
Out there.
coming down and say, yeah, no housing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think, yeah. Not by my house.
No,
but
I
maybe-
applaud the idea.
What's that?
I applaud the idea.
Well, thank you. Keep us in mind, and if you have any thoughts about, could Land Bank put a 676 square foot single on that property? It's a smaller property. Could we put a smaller house than the 960 that's required? Could we ask for that special use permit? Do you think that would fly?
Well, let's find out what is our requirement at this point? What is our minimum square footage for a house?
well, on the
650?
back page of the one that I printed for you here, on the very back page,
Okay,
I had printed, just like the R1, R2. And if you look at,
all right.
let's say, let's look under R2. it says the second paragraph, front 15 feet, minimum living area is 960 square feet.
Okay,
So they each have something just a little bit different. Now the R3, that goes a little bit different, the second paragraph in R3.
yeah,
It says 960 square feet, but then it says multifamily 500 square feet.
yeah, yeah,
And
okay, okay.
yeah, so we've got those.
Yeah, yeah, I see. So, yeah, it depends on where you're gonna locate, your footage.
You think it's worth me bringing a proposal to build a single unit, not the duplex? 676 on that property, or is that just gonna be too much trouble for you?
A single would,
Well,
A two-bedroom home, yeah.
yeah, I think it'd be worth your while. I mean,
Where do you want to put that?
This is Cassius,
on Kosciuszko down there by 10th Street.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it'd be worth your while.
That's where they tore the one down.
Yep.
yes, yeah,
so could we, would a special use?
yes.
That?
Yep. Now, I don't remember, was it zoned R3 or
R2.
R2? See, and R2 then is the one that has the,
960.
what's it say? Yeah, that one has the minimum, yeah, R2 has the minimum living area 960 square feet. For that one for R2.
It's the second line of the slide that is up right now.
Yeah. So then if we get some feedback from the planning commission, you know, is it worth to go to the ZBA and to ask for that? Yeah.
Unless that's too much of a stress, I would inquire about that.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why, yep,
That's a plus.
yep, to
It's
talk to them
plus.
first.
We want to make this community better and better.
Yeah,
I
we're
know
glad
you
you're,
do.
yeah, we're glad.
That's why I'm here.
No, and that's why we do this.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Sure, sure, sure.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Something that we can tackle here in the future.
You need more
Okay.
small ones like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah,
do
that-
housing, yes, we do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's up and coming in the smaller homes. Yeah.
All right. Public comments, communication, public comment and agenda-related items. Anyone in the public today
Public,
has any comments? No? Okay.
nobody in the public.
Next, new business, 300 Care Center Drive.
I hope everybody had a chance to review their packet.
Yeah.
Right, wonderful. So 300 Care Center Drive. So I've been receiving emails, some FOIA requests, phone calls regarding this property at the 300 Care Center Drive. It last was known as the a drug rehabilitation facility. And the owner right now of that property is the Best Drug Rehab Facility. That area is zoned R3. And the total cash value right now listed in assessing is $699,734, 2.41 acres. So what I've got here is just a couple emails and a couple things that I just want to start the conversation for this to see what interest, what questions you have, maybe some ideas that we could give the community. So some ideas that have come across for the property are some student housing, hotel, foster care, veterans, an education facility, bed and breakfast, medical building, nursing home, or professional building. Do a profit or nonprofit. So I want to read to you an email that I received. This email came in from a John Wadman, and it would have been in your packet, but I'd like to also read it for the record. Thank you for talking with me this morning.
Oh, yeah.
We were wondering if this former rehab facility could be repurposed as housing for students, healthcare, retail employees, etc. Residential use without the rehab, healthcare, assisted living care use. The main issue, we do not want to have to rip down walls between the units to meet a minimum square footage requirement. Some towns require higher minimum living space per apartment, but this is a special building in a special lots of cosmetic changes and updating. Oh, I'm sorry, in a little zone. We want to do as little construction work as possible and work with the existing structure as it stands. Of course, lots of cosmetic changes and updatings, refrigerator, breakfast bar, microwave, but keep the high room count. We are a for-profit group as opposed to a nonprofit organization. I have told you student housing this morning, but I want to leave the door open in case there are not enough students to fill this building. We think that there are. A 1-year lease, no short-term, weekly, monthly rentals. This is just a starting point. We do not want to be in the rehab or assistant living business. See what you have everyone's gut feeling about and let us know. So they wanted me to bring that up. Another email that I received, this one just a little bit later before I could get it into your packet, was we've received many concerns and questions about the property at 300 Care Center. I spoke with Mark Miller and he asked me to reach out to you directly regarding some of these options. Option 1, a refugee center for asylum seekers. Second one, option 2, micro apartments or student housing. Option 3, operating the property for another drug rehabilitation center as it was formerly operated. So I'm just letting you know that I've been receiving FOIAs, a lot of questions about the property, so.
Can I ask a question, Mark?
Yep, go ahead.
From who have you received? Are these
One is a
looking at
business,
buying the property?
yes, looking at buying the property, but they want to know if they could do these things
Do these things to the property?
before they purchase it. So this one is coming out of a lawyer's office in Troy, Michigan. Another one, this one was a John Wadman, and he's a business owner.
Yeah, okay. So they're wondering what they could do. Well, God.
Before they make a purchase, right?
Have they considered any kind of like putting senior housing in there?
I brought up the ideas, but that's, because this is being recorded, I'm gonna be sending them a link so they could hear our discussion, some of the ideas,
Right.
what you feel would be a wise use for the property, so.
Well, I thought their understanding was housing is what the big need is, and being what it is, that was our kind of a goal,
Right,
so.
and that's what I've stressed to them, it is about housing,
Yeah.
that's what we need.
I don't see where they could get student housing because the place that would need the student housing is out in Scottville by the college. The distance here is just great, and the college had attempted before to have student housing, and that failed. And it ended up being turned into an apartment complex. So I'm not sure where they're getting where there would be enough students for
Yeah.
housing here.
Yeah,
There's not
I
really
don't,
anything where I could see where it would justify having student housing. You know, we've got classes, West Shore classes here, but what, 2 or 3 different types of classes? We're not,
How many rooms?
I don't understand that.
Are in that old facility?
I do not know, it's a good question.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to Spicer tomorrow to meet with Lucas, so I can ask those questions about how many rooms.
Yeah, because it was at one point a senior center,
yeah, it was before it became the drug center.
about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
it wasn't a senior center,
Or, well, not a senior center.
nursing home.
A nursing home, I
Okay.
should say.
Yeah,
Nursing
it was
home.
hospital and then nursing home.
Nursing home, yeah.
And then they made it that drug rehab,
Drug
but they're not state licensed, that's that,
What's that?
Scientology, that's who owned it. They do teach Scientology
Oh.
and that, so they weren't regulated through the state when they had the
Private.
drug facility
It
in
was all
there.
private?
and it was private. And then there was trouble with people walking around the grounds and leaving the building and stuff like that. Then they bought the old
The old Civic Club.
Civic Club, or was
Yeah, the
it?
Civic Club it was.
Civic.
And they had classes there plus AA meetings and that from up there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's sitting empty too. You
I don't know, to me, a veterans facility would be nice.
Yeah.
I think they've
But they
warranted,
just took the old DAV building down. What veterans facility?
that was falling apart anyway, so.
Well, it was falling apart, but I mean,
I mean, that was just.
I
a
hate to
meeting.
say it, but the veterans here in town, there are very few that participate in any type of facility.
I'm just wondering for housing for veterans that can't.
Housing for veterans. But I tell you, I go to most of the meetings, it's hard, if you get more than 4 or 5 veterans at a meeting, it's, they just, like VFW and the whole crew, Legion, it's
I
not
mean,
good.
just throwing some mud up on the wall to see.
Yeah,
See what sticks.
See what sticks.
Students, I kinda agree with Bob that, you know, the amount of students here are minimal. And West Shore College tried it and it didn't
Yeah.
work.
No, I don't see that one.
Wouldn't wanna put our community in any type of peril to have that facility turned over for illegal immigrants. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
No, oh, God, no. Don't
And
even.
we had another group come before us 3 or 4 years ago about putting a housing in the city, kind of a halfway house for prisoners.
Okay.
And we did turn that down too, because don't want that in the city.
Okay.
As a member of the board of Senior Center Council on Aging, we desperately need housing for seniors, affordable housing. And everything that's being built is way beyond their capacity. But something like what he's
Yeah, it's tiny
proposing
house.
to do would be perfect in that. And I think the old hospital would be a great opportunity to be fixed for housing for seniors. And I mean, it's close to shopping and it's close to get Dollar Right if they don't drive to come back into town and stuff like that.
Yep.
But our seniors are always desperate for housing.
Yeah,
And that opens up a lot of their homes. Like myself, I live in a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home by myself.
Right.
And sometimes I have kids in and out, but,
Having something like that would open up your house to a younger family
And-
that has more than 1 or 2.
yeah.
This could be, you know, if possible, the old Olson project, when that was proposed,
Yep.
to have something that was right along those guidelines. To have senior housing.
yeah, it was.
And that opens up other houses for younger families that can afford
Yep.
to do sweat equity into a house.
Yeah, one of the things the Holston project had where we had to have that requirement retail on the bottom, this one
Yes.
need to.
Yeah.
Now, mix a pharmacy in there. There isn't a pharmacy,
Yep.
Walgreens is around the corner, but to have a. Oh, that's right, yeah. I forget about
No, yeah, Family Fair.
Yeah, family fairs.
Family Fair's got a pharmacy.
it. Yeah,
So you got 2 pharmacies within half.
not a bad idea for senior housing. Yeah, that could be a nice kickstart.
All right, great.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And Mr. Wadman, he
Why?
does buy buildings, apartment facilities, and, I don't know if he turns them, but he just bought one in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
did a little snooping.
They're
All right.
just people with money looking to invest, that's all they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They can
No,
do.
that's, you know, I would never do that.
They don't wanna tear down walls.
So, I mean, that's, I don't know, senior housing, would we wanna see, cause senior housing? I mean, if there were a glut of students, yeah, that'd be nice, but I don't see it,
We're just not close enough to the college.
yeah,
No,
And most students live at home.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, so.
Focus on senior housing.
Okay.
Is that it for the 300 Care Center?
Yes, that's all I have.
Okay.
They tried to center it kind of.
Are we finished with 300 Care Center Drive?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, could I ask one question?
sure, go ahead.
Still we're on Care Center Drive. Oh, the hill that goes up to Care Center Drive, or it is Care Center Drive Road. Who owns that hill?
They do.
The Care Center Drive, is the one that goes by the credit union, the Curvy Road,
No.
private drive,
One that goes up the hill.
goes to Kosciuszko Street, you're talking about?
Yeah,
That is a private driveway, it's not a city street.
that's what I heard. It's terrible.
Yeah, it does not belong to the city street
So
system.
who maintains it?
Nobody.
Nobody had that.
Nobody.
The only street that's there is Care Center Drive that goes past the credit union up the hill there.
Yeah.
And that's owned by the county.
It's owned by the county.
Yeah, 'cause I saw that guy doing that work. And I thought that was city too. He said, no, that's county.
The retention pond in front of the Sherman Oak, the apartments there,
Yeah,
the city property line goes right through the center of that.
yeah, I know it's up there
Goes
somewhere.
over to Maywood, cuts down Maywood a little bit, and then cuts back to the east.
Yeah,
So half of Maywood is in Filer, and the other half's in the city.
but that hill, I mean, the maintenance on that road, if we're talking about trying to develop the building, somebody's gonna have to maintain the road.
Right.
Do they know that?
I don't know. Good question.
I don't either.
Yeah.
City just used to plow it always because that was the hospital.
Yeah, that used to
Right.
be the old
Right.
hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, but, yeah, geez, I know, I go up that way every now and then to the back way, but, yeah, it's a terrible condition. If nobody owns, I mean, I don't know, what did they do? Just let it deteriorate then if nobody owns it?
Right. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Jeez.
How long has that been sitting empty? 4 or 5 years?
I was gonna say I've heard maybe 5 or 6 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think before the world shut down, maybe a year before, so about 5 years.
4 or 5.
Really? Yeah. All right, thank you, Mark.
All right,
Yep.
any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on that, Teresa?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Move along to old business fence permits.
Yes, so fence permits, I've got my information into the attorney, just waiting to hear back. I know he's very busy. I'm very busy, but it's going, it's moving. A little slow, but we're getting there. So the next is the master plan. I met with Mark and Bob before our meeting here, and I wanted to let all of you know that I think I talked about it, but I actually submitted the grant application for, it's called Housing Readiness. And in order for us to be ready for housing readiness, they have a grant out there, and part of that grant, you're able to update your master plan. And with that master plan update, I requested and asked if we could receive $33,000 to have a consultant kind of take over and do that, and it's part of the grant. We do have $30,000 in our budget for the master plan. I do not want to use that. I really see that that can go for a lot of different areas, and if we can get a grant and I can do the work for that, hire the outside company, the consultants to come in. I've got a list of things that I would like to see improved, maybe a little bit tweaked. I really want to focus on getting our dates current, what's happened since 2016. I want a professional photographer. There's certain things that I really think are going to benefit the master plan. And then what we in return need to realize is with that master plan being up to date, current, nice looking, everybody's had some input on it, the community's had input on it. Now we have something that we can show when we want to request other grants. This also is a reflection of what other plans that need updated, then now can look at ours and say, this is what they have done. We want to be like ours, be like the PC's master plan. So I put that together, sent that in, just waiting to hear back from it. So
Thank you. Very good.
What did you call that? Housing
it's housing readiness.
readiness?
Readiness,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, so that's part of it. You know, you need certain things in order for you to request. Yeah, and I found that out too with the chill grant, which I'm gonna talk about in a few minutes, so.
Children?
Chill grant.
Oh,
Chill. Nope, we don't want a children grant.
thinking, holy smoke, this lady's something else.
Nope,
Children.
chill,
Chill, okay,
Chill, yeah. All right, the next is MSU Extension Office classes. We really need to buckle down and figure out what kind of classes we want to get, and so I can get rolling on asking Mary to put on a class here for us, either before a meeting, after a meeting.
Yeah.
The following week, whenever we can, during the day, evening, whatever you want to do. But she's offering it to us for free. I'd like to open it up.
Really?
Yes. So she does that once a year, and
Man, alive.
she's willing to do that for us, so.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Well, with
Yep.
that, in our latest magazine that we get, Michigan Planner, for December, excuse me. There are some classes that I looked over, and I sent this over to Teresa. You don't have a slide of that, do you, Teresa?
No, I do not.
No? Okay.
No.
So, planning and zoning essentials is one, getting the development you want is another, nonconformities, zoning ordinances A to Z, planning and zoning essentials, yeah, that's another one, just the second one. Housing supply choice and affordability, and then planning and zoning essentials. But if we could, I don't know how anybody feels about these, it'll go a long way to get our credits in for each person, give us some education. I don't know if you want to look at this.
I did put something in the packet. That might be the same one, official training.
Yeah.
But another thing is
Training.
too, I can send the email out to Mary, let her know if we get a date,
Yeah.
that we can pick out a date even tonight if we can figure out one. And say to her, these are a couple of the things that we're interested in. She can tweak it and make it our own, however we'd like it.
Really?
Good.
Okay, so this Mary you're talking to, she's part of this extension of the
Yep,
planning?
she is the coordinator
She's
of
the
MS.
coordinator,
Yep,
okay.
yep, the extension office.
That have got the credits and trying to accumulate the 6 credits. What we pick for whatever class, it will go towards that?
Yes, and it will
Master
go towards
planning?
that.
Okay,
Well, maybe not, well, yeah, she would have to figure out if it's gonna, who needs what, but as far as I know, I mean, anything's up for renewal. You
Yeah,
can use those
yeah.
credits for,
Her job anyway. to know
Yes.
what we need.
well, I mean, yeah, we look,
She's also local, that helps.
oh,
yep,
okay, yeah, so, I mean, yeah, all we're trying to do is pick up 6 credits, most generally. And the idea of is to have a group,
yeah, what I'd like is either, maybe on a Thursday night, instead of having our meeting or a very short meeting, we have it after, or
Okay.
start earlier, or we just have it a following week. If you guys give me a date,
We could do a work session
okay,
on a Thursday, or, some night, it doesn't have to be a Thursday.
right, okay. Would you want to do something closer to like 5 to 7 or
You'd
5
have
to
be-
7:30?
It'd have to be something, a couple hours anyhow.
Right, oh yeah, it will be, so we
Yeah.
would do earlier or 4, I don't know.
Do like 5:30.
Okay, 5:30,
Yeah.
okay,
Hopefully she could, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, it's Shelley's schedules.
oh,
I don't
right,
have any time, but,
okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, well, I'm gonna get that started.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah,
that.
yeah. So we're at the stage where you're going to get what started?
I'm gonna speak to Mary about coordinate a date with her
For what?
for classes, and we're going to tweak it to what we have kind of on the list.
Okay.
Whether it be zoning essentials, maybe a little bit more on master plan, even though we're gonna hire an outside source. We still need to have some reference points so we can review it and look at it.
Yep.
I mean, there's many things
Okay.
we could talk about. We could talk about solar energy. I mean, I could get you all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Well,
but-
whatever happened to that lady that came here, Mark, with the lights?
Dark sky?
Dark,
The sky lady?
no, it's dark, that's not skylight, it's the outdoor lighting, try to keep the,
Yeah,
I'd
dark,
like,
It had something to do with the satellite that goes over and
No.
takes pictures?
no.
No?
There's a organization called Dark Skies.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to reduce our ambient lights that
Right.
go look up into the upper atmosphere.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be part of something that we could, whatever happened to her? Because didn't we ask for a showing when it went over, Manistee or Michigan or however, with the new hotel? I thought it'd be part of our study, but no, okay, forget it.
No, I missed that meeting.
Because I know farther up north, they've got, I can't remember what city's got it, but they've got the Dark Skies.
Yeah, but she was all pumped up. There was some lady in East Lake or something that did it.
Yeah. Gave us light
Okay,
bulbs.
yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Move along, public comments, communication. Is there
What
any,
about the Chill Grant stuff?
oh, the chill grant?
I'm gonna do that when I do my, yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Anyone in the audience has any comments or for the commission? None? All right, thank you. Staff and board reports. Community Development Director.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to let you know, on Tuesday night, we had, actually, let me get the term correct. We had a question and answer session on the CHILL grant. So that's spelled CHILL. So CHILL grant. So let me get out my paper here.
Okay.
So, in case anybody doesn't remember, or I'm just gonna quickly go over this. The CHILL grant, we received, first 2 months I was here, with Tracy Davis's help from Housing North, we received $500,000 for up to 14 homes to get rehabbed in the city. What our goal is to reach families that are at the 80% AMI. And so that's between a 42,000 to 79,000 base household income. We want to find out from the community who has the need for improvements inside and outside their home. We're going to have inspectors come into the home first, review and look inside the home to find out what is a hazard, what is the safety concern. We're going to get a list of that and that be a priority. Then from there, we can do other things after the health and safety, like electrical work, plumbing, roofing, siding, insulation, windows, doors, all of that. So some of the very easy questions, and I give you the form there, is does the homeowner live on the property? If it's a yes, they can continue on. Are you purchasing the property on a land contract? If that's a yes, you're not eligible. Has the homeowner occupied the home for at least 1 year? If they've said yes, they can continue on for the application. And if the home's at least 5 years old, and if it is, if they meet those criteria along with the income, they're going to sit down with Tracy and I and go over the application. The application is going to be a first come, first serve. Once we receive the application, we still are waiting for the state of Michigan to release those. But once we do, we have our question and answer session was Tuesday night. We had 12 residents stop in. I had 8 emails. I had a few walk-ins. I've gotten more emails today. We're getting it out through Instagram, Facebook, the website for the city. And also I talked to the radio station, which will be aired next week, giving our next open house when we're gonna discuss it, sit down with people. They just need to bring in their taxes, last year's taxes, and a few other things to verify, and we can get them going. And the project will hopefully be done by June of 2025 on their home. So again, $40,000 per home, 12 to 14 homes. So if one person only needs electrical and it's less than $10,000, that remaining money would be able to go possibly to maybe a 15th person or homeowner. So we're really encouraged. I really got some interested people stop in, some people that really need it, and they were so thankful. We had ages from a 21-year-old up to somebody who was 83. So this is a huge range in age of the necessity. So, any other questions? I've given you all this question and answer kind of form. This is what we gave out.
Yeah.
And then if you flip it over, it's just some easy, how do I get started? Do I need to make an appointment? If I rent, do I qualify? Those simple, quick, Q&A questions on the back. So I'd like all of you, if you know somebody who needs some stuff done on their home, that is really in need of a roof, or I have one person, they have got, their basement is leaking, and the windows in their basement are leaking, and her son has asthma, and that's a concern if there's mold. I mean, so that's something I didn't even think about. So there's different variables, different things. So if you hear about anything, hand them that paper or send them my direction so we can talk to them and get them started on it.
For houses all over the city or one specific area?
Houses all over the city. We're not pinpointing one area at all. It's anywhere.
The city and county?
Nope, just city. Just city. And I do want to let you know with this round one, we were only a handful of areas, I think like 10 in the whole state that actually did the work and got it done. So
And you and one other person are going to
Tracy,
administer this whole
yes,
project?
Tracy Davis and I, yes.
Guys doing your planning commission job?
Yes.
Wow.
And that's why Teresa went for the master plan grant, so I can get some outside help because
You're
I
gonna
have
have
high
your-
standards of what I want done with that too. So,
Have your hands full.
yes, I do.
Jeez.
Keep him busy. It's a good thing I like my job.
You
I'd
think?
like to get a couple copies of this.
Sure,
Yeah, where do
absolutely.
you sign up? I'll sign up.
Senior Center, we have people come in all the time that live on $800 a month.
Do you have
that
another
need
one,
things.
Teresa? Do you have any more?
I think I've got some on the second shelf over there.
One more of these?
No, you just keep that on. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get more.
Copies of.
I have
We'll make copies.
I have a person in mind for this, so.
Okay,
Beautiful. That's
so then
very
the
nice.
next thing I wanted to talk about is we had our first ZBA meeting.
Yeah.
We had to do election of officers, so we did that. Didn't talk about much just because we needed to have the ZBA meeting. And I wanted to meet everybody. I wanted it the first of the year. We did that. Mark attended. If you want to add anything to the ZBA meeting?
There was just one question on the fence permit from Mr. Spalding. He was wondering why we didn't need a fence permit or why we had to put it back in. So we explained it. He was still, he was wondering about restrictions. In other communities, fence permits are restricted. I asked him, did you read ours? Well, no. Okay then, let's, put one foot in front of the other. So, but that was the only thing, and I was, there's only 5 people on the ZBA now. 3 attended.
2 and 1 alternate attended, so we were lucky to even have the meeting.
Marlene, you've been on.
I started.
Roger's been on it.
No, not the
Zoning
ZBA.
Board
Didn't,
of
don't we
Appeals.
have
Did
a
you?
go-between?
Years ago, and then came
No.
here,
From
that
us?
was on
Thought we did.
Brownsville too.
Okay.
And I
Was it?
spent
Oh, that's right,
hours
Shelley is
from
on it.
that
She wasn't, yeah, but we
Yeah,
used to
she
have
was
7.
absent.
Yeah, we used to have.
Used to
yeah,
have 7.
Person on
It's,
it.
it's hard to get members, so if we know of anybody to prod
Well, they-
them to
Back when
fill out an
I was on it,
application.
if you had, like, once every 3 months, you'd have a meeting because nobody had come before you
Yeah.
Right,
to want something.
Yeah.
So when you very rarely go, but
Yeah.
I don't know now, that's probably a lot more busier, people wanting, things done and wanting an appeal on it, but,
well, last year they had 2 meetings. And so, and plus, like I said, I wanted to meet everybody and just get us together, so, and I knew election.
Who are the officers?
I think.
Dwayne Jones, oh gosh,
Isn't,
Johnson, from Johnson's Funeral Home, I can't remember his name.
Dennis Johnson.
With one M.
Yep.
And Mark
isn't.
And then
Shelley.
Shelley,
Shelley,
yep,
Shelley.
and then there was one other one.
one other, but I don't think he's no longer on there. I think he resigned off of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we used to meet every month.
John Perschenbacher and I forget who all was on that.
Oh,
many
yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Honest John, yep.
He was been there forever.
Yeah.
Well, good
And
for
then the only other thing that they discussed with the ZBA is they didn't agree with or didn't like the amount for someone to have to go in front of the ZBA. It's $1,200 for an application for somebody to go in front of the ZBA. But with that, there is a lot of work that goes into it. And I guess if I really needed to do kind of a list and really detail it, I mean, it costs a lot to go in the paper, a lot of mailings, postage, the time.
Yeah.
It's a lot to get ready, the presentation, so I don't know. What I could do is, find 6 other cities and find out what the price is of theirs, what they charge, and and that's what I plan on doing and bringing it to him, but that's just something that he had brought up. Marty Spalding did.
In your spare time?
Yeah, my spare time.
Okay.
Yep.
So if they don't like something, we tell them, they have to go in front of the ZBA, they have to pay $1,200?
Correct. Like our gentleman in the audience, that's a lot of money for them. And then if they do not
When?
get approval and win, they do not get that money back. So it's a lot of planning. That's why I have individuals come here first.
Yeah.
It's a great audience. You're from all different areas in the city, all have different aspects. Let's listen to what they have to say first. Let's get an idea. Let's give them some feedback before all of a sudden I just send them to the ZBA, pay all of this money. They aren't sure what they're getting into.
Yep.
And then they're hit with some very crucial questions, and they weren't quite prepared.
You
That's
have to
good.
prove a hardship through ZBA.
Yes, you do.
That's our, yeah.
Yep, that is one. And a lot of people, my greatest example was a gentleman would come to my office and his wife, and they say, well, we have a hardship. We've got all these toys. We've got snowmobiles, boats, this and that. We need a larger pole barn. That's not a hardship. So, yeah. You have to show a hardship, so,
It isn't?
Nice try, though.
no.
With all his boats?
Yeah,
Them
all your
boats in the
toys?
water, Marco.
Boats.
No.
The boats, eh?
The boats, eh?
Okay, so then, next, training in March. I am going to be attending the Planning and Zoning Essentials.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to Frankenmuth for an all-day seminar for that. And that's being offered, and I'm gonna be getting my credits for that too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used
so I
to go
signed
to-
up for that.
We used to go to those. They're pretty good deals.
It,
Meet and greet people. Of
Yes.
course, like you say about before, in your position, that'd probably be a good idea to find out what other people are charging for fences.
exactly,
You know?
fence permits and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's nice
ZBA,
to see how they run their things.
yes.
Yeah,
Yep, it's good networking.
Will be the least expensive fence permit
Oh, absolutely, we will be,
municipality in the state. so.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. That's true.
Yep,
Uh-huh,
You may find out there's a lot of them.
yeah.
Because that's like I was so surprised when I came here, because I worked for a construction company, and you had to have a roof permit everywhere.
oh,
And
right.
here, I couldn't believe they didn't have a roof permit.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because we did, I talked with Mark and Bob about this, and also talked to the building inspector. And it's really felt that if, just like with a fence, or anything that you're kind of doing to the roof, it's a repair. So you wouldn't need a permit for that. And plus, our building inspector doesn't go out and inspect new roofs. So it's something that is just a repair and done, so that's why they're not required.
Some cities let you take a picture of the roof tore off, and then and then ice shield and shingles, and they accepted that if they couldn't get out to inspect it.
Oh. Nope,
Same with windows and doors.
yeah, yep, those are just replacement,
Right.
yeah,
We were talking.
Because the cost of a roof is very costly.
Yeah.
it is,
Yep. So it just makes life easy,
yeah,
so.
so. And then the historical district, our, meeting next week has been canceled, we don't have anything on the agenda, so.
Okay. Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Laura, do you have anything?
Do not.
Nothing? Okay. Member discussion, Roger?
Nothing at all. Things are going pretty good. Nice weather outside, so a lot of positive action now with more housing coming, so maybe 24 will be our year. No, good, thank you.
Marlene?
No, I thank everybody for their hard work and
Yeah.
that. And the lady who came from, I believe she was from the visitor center or something and spoke to us. She wants to put some marquees up around town with everything that's going to be happening in that. She spoke of that. I just wondered how she was progressing on that and if that's something that we'll see by beginning of summer.
Who was that? Oh, I've gotten some emails, but have you heard anything more, or me neither?
Because it
I've not.
sounded really nice to have.
Oh, yes, yes,
Those things around town that,
yeah,
Kiosk.
when you're walking and you got tourists and even local people, you know what's happening in your town and that. And
yeah.
I just wondered what her progress was at, and if that was something that's going to be initiated by summer or.
Yeah, and actually, I have planned on, actually, just something else real quick. I've invited Jerry Ballou, who is their building inspector, to go with me like the 23rd or something of February. Jerry and I are gonna go at 11 o'clock to the museum downtown. We want to pay a visit, do the tour, talk to Mark Fetter about things. After that, I'm taking him out for lunch. And then after that, we're stopping at the Visitors Bureau so I can look and physically see where it's located, what they have there. I want to take some stuff in here. So I've got that already on the schedule. I'm glad that you actually brought that up. Just to do that, because if we're working here, we need to be connected. I need to know it for many reasons, the history, so I'm knowledgeable. And I want Jerry to be the same. So
Yeah.
I said we're going to do a field trip Friday, and we're going to do that.
From the museum, he just came to the senior center.
Oh, Mark,
Gave a
yes.
presentation about things that, and 300 nursing home up there, he talked about the steps that are now covered with weeds and everything.
Oh.
Used to go up to the hill and other buildings around town and stuff. It's very informative and he's not that monotone. I mean, he's very interesting to hear
Yeah.
him speak about things.
Yeah,
Very good public speaker.
yes, he
He's
is.
been here a couple of times. So.
Yep. We enjoy him, and
Yeah.
I think we have him on the list for
I think so too.
speaker.
Spokesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark is good.
But I thought of that. I thought, you know what? I need to invite Jerry to do that like every 3 months, just do that, or even just try a different restaurant. And then afterwards, let's take a walk to this place, this business or whatever. So the two of us, wear our badges and we're being seen and learning about the whole area. So that's kind of my goal right now that we're going to do. So I invited him today to do that with me. So
Yeah, it's
We should
nice
do
to
it
get
at
a
the-
little update, like she was here. I'd just like to know.
Oh, yeah, I've got
how
it down.
that's
I will.
progressing. Yeah.
I did see on LinkedIn that she's possibly in the running for some award. So I'll have to come back to you with that and see what's going on with that. I just quickly,
March 8th or something.
yeah, I quickly just saw something. I didn't have a lot of time to read into it, but I saw that right before I came up here, that she's in the running for something, some kind of award. So that's exciting. Yeah.
Pam?
I got nothing.
Robert?
Nothing, in another 2 weeks from Tuesday, I'll be down in Grand Rapids for a week.
Uh-oh.
For training?
I'll be, getting my continuing ed done to keep my survey license going.
Okay, good.
And there's a couple subjects in there, I gotta look at them again, that might be related to our stuff, so. I can't remember the schedule I signed up for. I signed up in November,
Okay.
so.
Are you back to work now? You're healthy and,
I have all weight restrictions lifted, but they have not released me yet until I can reach a certain constant weight lift with the arm. And the way it's going, by the end of this month, I should be all set.
good.
So
Good.
I'll go back to work and take all these phone calls I've been getting for the last month.
Yeah.
Gee whiz, yeah.
I've got-
Don't rush yourself.
I've got a big list of jobs already lined up.
I'll bet you.
I'm
No,
telling
no
you.
golf for you this year, Bob.
What?
No golf for you.
No golf.
Okay, well,
You're gonna fill in for me.
I'll pick it up, so,
Carry the load, Mark.
not a problem. Me,
Okay.
219 Fifth Street. Teresa, the auto repair facility, yep.
Yeah. There was lights on there tonight when I came by.
No, the other day when I went by Sunday, there were 8 or 9 vehicles there. Oil tank on the east side of the building. And he is not permitted to do anything.
Can I add something too? Jerry has met with Josh Glass and with one of the officers, Bill, and I'm not sure who else, but we're assisting, helping with blight. And so with that, Jerry has taken the top 10 that are the biggest issues. And so he's starting to write letters, send things out, and he's reporting those to me. So then I will start to report those to you guys also. Let you know.
Nice.
Let's see.
Yeah, because he hasn't done much with that special use permit at all, has he at all?
Yeah, he was in front of us
Yeah,
a
he was
year
at,
ago.
August
2 years ago.
23.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a special use
Yeah.
permit, he hasn't done
Yeah,
anything
then-
with it.
Okay.
And, council turned him down, refused it,
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, so. And then, 240 Arthur Street, I think you've been out there, Teresa? The signage for weed,
Yes, and all I'm able to say at this moment is it's just gonna be put on hold right now. They've got other issues that they've gotta take care of first before I'm even gonna approach them about a sign. That's kind of the least of their concerns right now.
okay? And then the last one, this is an always ongoing, temporary shelters around town.
Yes, and what is the name of, that you brought up, Bob? The restaurant or whatever that has the garage doors, they have that temporary
Oh, the,
Outsiders?
outsider.
The outside.
outsider? Yeah, I have to look into that for temporary. And then anytime that I'm driving by or any of you drive by, you see something, snap a picture, just send me a message and send it to me.
Next to the fire department, there's one up,
Okay?
white canopy top with a car under it.
Okay, a temporary structure.
Yeah, I don't know what the intent is. I assume some sort of a shelter, but I didn't think that was, proper.
The never go away yard sale.
Yeah, the never will.
Pop-up tent they have up. They actually had a permit from the city for that, yard sale, to be quite a bit.
But they could only have so many.
Yeah, there's,
Restriction on how many.
how
But
many,
that's what
yeah.
I'm talking about.
Okay,
So we're at the end of summer though, they did stop having it. So somebody complained.
Yeah, they had a pop-up tent there last week.
Did they?
You know, everything's always right out on the side.
They don't have much of a yard, so, on that building.
Anyhow,
But yeah, just if anybody sees temporary or shelters, snap a picture, send it to
Yep.
Teresa.
or anything else, blue tarps
yeah.
on roofs,
That one down there
garages.
on, what is that street, Stu's Pub and all them are, that house,
Ramsdale?
what, yeah,
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale.
Yeah.
That house by the bar has had a tarp on it for a couple of years.
I think that person saw me about a chill grant application, so yes, I know which one you're talking about.
Chill application.
What?
That's a chill application?
Yeah, the chill grant, I don't
Or
have the
chill-
application yet, so,
But I'll get it quite a few, yeah.
yeah,
That does make sense, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he's always crying poor, and then he worked at Myers and he quit, and it's like, you know, he doesn't stay with the job very long to get money.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one more and I forgot, so,
You'll have to send it to me,
apparently it wasn't important,
okay?
okay? So with that,
You know,
time now is 8:15. If we are finished,
Motion
I would take a motion for adjournment.
Motion adjourned.
I'll most second that motion.
Motion passed. We are adjourned.
As Ray would say,